The residents of Willowfern Estates had grown used to seeing the same thing. Packages vanishing from their porches, replaced with nothing but the smug, rule-quoting face of Karen Latchmore, the self-appointed queen of the HOA. Karen wasn't just an HOA president. She was an HOA tyrant. She enforced rules that never existed, invented fines on the spot, and treated Amazon drivers like trespassing invaders. But what the neighborhood feared most was the way packages disappeared whenever Karen conducted her inspections. No one could ever prove it. Camera footage went missing, mysteriously overwritten. Complaints evaporated in HOA. Administrative error. Karen always had an explanation. Always dripping with that sugar poison tone. If you followed Porch Appearance Regulation 4B, none of this would have happened. People grumbled, whispered, plotted, but Karen was untouchable. Or so she thought. One late autumn afternoon, a new box appeared on the porch of Unit 14B, a house no one paid much attention to. It belonged to a quiet man named Miles Wayland, a tech contractor who mostly kept to himself. His blinds were always closed, his lawn perfectly trimmed, and his car mysteriously spotless. Karen considered him suspicious simply because he never attended HOA meetings. She was convinced he was hiding something. So when she saw the medium-sized brown package sitting innocently on his porch, she zeroed in like a crow spotting a shiny object. Across the street, neighbors paused their leaf raking, exchanging uneasy glances. They recognized the glint in her eyes. Another inspection. Another package, doomed. Karen strutted toward the porch, phone in hand, muttering. Unauthorized delivery presence is a violation. 100% a violation. She adjusted her visor, straightened her HOA badge, which no one had asked her to create, and snapped a photo of the box. No return label. No branding. Just a thick printed warning in bold black letters. Handle with care, do not tamper. Karen scoffed. Oh please. Everything in this neighborhood is under my jurisdiction. Without hesitation, she lifted the box. Surprisingly heavy. Heavier than expected. She struggled but managed to tuck it under her arm like a determined penguin. Then she did what everyone knew she'd do, she walked off with it. From behind curtains and blinds, neighbors watched with wide eyes. Something about that box felt off. Too plain. Too heavy. Too deliberately placed. Miles, who usually stayed invisible, stepped out at that moment, not saying a word. Just watching Karen march away with the package. His expression didn't change. But there was the slightest hint of a smirk tugging at the corner of his mouth. As if he'd been waiting for this exact moment. Someone whispered, "Oh no. She finally messed with the wrong box." And they were right, the moment Karen got home, 5 doors down. In the only house with security signs every 3 feet. She kicked the door shut behind her and dropped the box onto her marble foyer table. The thud echoed through the house. Her cat, Chairman Meow, bolted up the stairs like a furry missile. Karen rubbed her arms dramatically. My God, what did that man order? Lead bricks. Unauthorized heavy materials, another violation. She circled the box, phone in hand. Her HOA report template was already open. She narrated every step like she was filming a police documentary. Opening possible contraband to verify neighborhood safety. But before she could lay a finger on the tape, the box clicked. Not from the outside. From within. Karen froze. Another click. Then a slow mechanical whir, like gears adjusting. The box lid lifted a 1/4 inch by itself, just a sliver, but enough for Karen to yelp and stumble backward into her coat rack. Coats collapsed on top of her like disgruntled fabric ghosts. From the crack, a red LED light blinked, scanning the room. Karen, shaking, whispered, "What in the fresh HOA violation?" The box spoke. A calm synthetic voice said, "Unauthorized user detected. Please step back." Karen screamed loud enough that the neighbors 2 streets over paused their TV shows. The lid slowly rose, revealing not explosives, not contraband, not a monster. Inside was A sleek black orb, humming with soft blue pulses. A drone. But unlike any consumer model, it hovered upward, silently, smoothly, stopping at eye level. Karen crawled backward. Miles is building robots. Robots without HOA approval. That's a Class A violation. The drone rotated toward her, scanning again. Identity confirmed, Karen Latchmore. Behavioral record acquired. Karen sputtered. Behavioral what? I don't have a behavioral anything. The drone projected a hologram into the air. A compilation of her greatest hits, stealing packages. Lecturing teens about mailbox height, writing fake citations. Yelling at a mail truck for parking too close to a curb. Karen shrieked, "Where did you get that?" The drone replied, "Neighborhood watch data." Unfiltered. She lunged for the drone, grabbing at it with manic HOA vengeance. The drone zipped upward. Karen face-planted into her table. Then the drone announced, "Commencing corrective action protocol." Karen froze. Outside, neighbors watched as a bright light flickered in her windows. And the drone flew out, holding every stolen package Karen had ever taken, dangling beneath it like a parade of evidence. Neighbors gathered outside as the drone rose into the twilight sky. Packages swaying beneath it like ornaments on a mechanical Christmas tree of justice. People gasped, whispered, and pulled out phones. Karen burst out her front door seconds later, hair wild, visor crooked. HOA badge dangling like it was trying to escape her shirt. "Stop that robot!" she shrieked. "It's violating HOA airspace regulations." The drone projected a message overhead like a floating billboard. "Warning, community package theft detected. Returning property." People stared at Karen. Karen screamed louder. "This is a misunderstanding. Everything is evidence. I was investigating." But the drone wasn't done. It swooped down, landing gently on the center of Willowfern's community circle, right on the decorative mosaic. Karen insisted everyone pay extra fees for. The packages dropped neatly into sorted piles: Johnson, Patel, Ramirez, Kim, Callahan. Dozens of them. The crowd murmured. "Is that my yoga mat? That's my kid's birthday present. Those are my noise-canceling headphones." Karen pushed her way through, snarling, "These were confiscated items. I had every right." The drone projected a new hologram. Footage. Time-stamped, high-resolution footage of Karen taking package after package. One clip even showed her stuffing a box into a garbage can when she couldn't open it. Kids laughed. Adults gasped. One man said, "Wow. Karen's got a criminal highlight reel." Karen lunged for the drone again. "Delete that." It rose just out of reach. Then the drone announced, "Final corrective action, community restitution protocol." Karen hesitated. What? What does that mean?" The drone turned its lens toward the residents. Democratic vote required. Phones buzzed. Notifications popped up. A digital poll appeared. Should the HOA president be removed from office? Karen shrieked, "This isn't legally binding." But the votes poured in. Within 30 seconds, the results flashed. Yes, 96%. No, 4%. The 4% were probably her cats. The drone displayed the result in huge glowing text. Karen screamed wordlessly at the sky. But then came the final line. "Commencing removal." Karen backed away. "No. No. You can't remove me from anything." The drone fired a small burst of air, just strong enough. Her visor flew off. Her HOA badge ripped from her shirt and soared into the air. The drone caught it, scanned it. Then zapped it with a blue beam until it disintegrated into glittering dust. The crowd cheered. Karen fell to her knees, melodramatic as ever. "You can't do this. I am the HOA." The drone replied. "Correction, you were," after Karen's dramatic dethroning. The neighborhood gathered around the drone like it was a tiny superhero. Kids poked at it. Adults thanked it. Dogs barked at it approvingly. Karen, meanwhile, sat on the curb hugging her knees, looking like a deflated lawn decoration after a storm. Miles finally stepped forward, hands in pockets, calm as ever. He approached the drone and said simply, "Return mode." The drone lowered to him respectfully, like a trained hawk. Karen sprang up. You did this. You set a trap." Miles shrugged. "You stole the bait. That part was optional. You spy on the neighborhood." "No," Miles replied. "The neighborhood sent me their footage. You created the problem. I built the solution." The drone projected a new message. HOA restructuring recommended. The neighbors erupted into excited chatter. "Finally, we can get rid of her stupid mailbox height rule. And the fine for having a garden gnome. And the 4-page grilling permit application." Karen stomped her foot. "You can't restructure anything without an HOA president." Miles looked around. "We can elect one." Cheering broke out. Phones buzzed with a new poll. "Nominate next HOA president." Karen lunged at people like a deranged political candidate. "Vote for me. I promise reduced regulations. No more citations. Please, I need this." But her voice was drowned out by the sound of her own scandal montage still looping on the drone above her. The votes poured in. The winner. Miles Wayland, 88%. Karen's jaw dropped so far it nearly hit the pavement. Miles scratched the back of his neck awkwardly. Thanks. But I don't really want to run an HOA." The crowd urged him. "Please. You're the only one who can keep Karen from coming back." He chuckled softly. "How about this, we dissolve the HOA?" Gasps. Then cheers. Karen shrieked like a tea kettle. "Dissolve? You can't dissolve me, I mean the HOA." Miles tapped his phone. Polls up. Seconds later. "Dissolve HOA?" "Yes, 97%. "No, 3%. Karen and her 2 cats again." The drone announced. HOA officially dissolved. Karen collapsed onto the pavement in slow motion, screaming, "No!" But no one was listening. People hugged. A man set up a grill, without a permit. Kids rode bikes on the sidewalk, without Karen screaming about tire marks. Someone put out a lawn flamingo. Another installed wind chimes. For the first time in years, Willow Fern felt like a neighborhood, not a dictatorship. As the sun set, Miles turned to leave. The drone followed him quietly. A neighbor called out, "So, what was in the box originally?" Miles smiled. "Just a drone." But the real test was seeing who couldn't resist stealing it. Karen screamed from behind them, "You're all breaking at least 10 rules." The drone beeped. Silence protocol initiated. Karen ran. Everyone laughed. And Willow Fern Estates was finally free.